I will go to our storyline.
Oh yeah.
Right. So you guys wanted us to bring this up, right? So when we did the segment when you slapped me,
Yeah.
do you know everybody thought I peed myself after?
No.
Yes. So apparently this was not what they wanted me to bring
Yeah.
up, but since we're going there, like I guess it was just the shadow, like the way my drink, because I would admit it if that
Yeah.
happened, but it's like I guess there was a shadow and people.
Like on your dress?
Yeah, it blew up that like you made
that-
me pee myself because you hit me so hard. You did hit me hard, though.
I did.
You did.
Well, okay. Can we talk about, I don't know if you remember this. So do you remember how the script kept changing? And then literally we're in Gorilla and your dad was like, wait, I think it should be something else. And you were kind of like, what? And then you looked at Brian and I and you go, you know what? I'm just going to ask you guys questions. Just answer them. And we know, Brie, at the end, you're quitting.
I don't even remember that part.
And your music hit and you left. And I looked at Brian and I go, wait, so what game plan is it? And he goes, she's going to ask us and
Yeah.
just answer.
Just
And I
go
was
with
like, I was going
because
to.
we knew what we needed to end with.
Yes.
Right.
And you were
So-
always great about that. Like,
Well,
and I think
because
that's
you
what
didn't have a choice. No, because that was not unusual for
Right.
promos to change last minute like
Yeah.
that, and you just have to be able to go with it.
I know. And you and Brian like just did it so beautiful. I feel
Well,
like
we had such
I
a story for so long.
You
too.
guys did.
Yeah, the
and you guys
authority.
had great chemistry.
It was so
Like,
fun.
Yeah. He
So
loved working
fun.
with you. I mean, with the whole authority and like
It was
all
the
of
best,
It
and he was like the man of the people.
right.
Yeah.
Like the people were behind him,
And
and we were the evil
Exactly.
authority.
And it couldn't have just been more perfect. And I even felt like the way I came into it, it was all organic. And
Yeah.
It felt great. But I do remember my one spot was I quit slap. And I just think I concentrated too hard on it. Because I remember when I slapped, I was like, oh shit.
It
In
was
my
good.
head. Yeah.
But my teeth were locked.
Shit.
So it was
Yeah,
good.
it was
Yes, no,
good.
it was good because I was prepared for
yeah.
that one.
And
yeah.
you just, your facials, I mean, they've always been like,
But
the
hey, I
best,
don't
but
think
that-
that was acting.
yeah.
But how evil is my character? Because for like 8 months, the story was preventing Brian from getting the title.
Right.
Right. And then ultimately, he overcomes so much. And then at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
he has to win 2 different matches to ultimately, even have the opportunity,
Yeah.
however it was laid out. And then now he's champ. And now how are we going to fuck with him, right?
Right.
Well, the best way to do that is mess with his wife.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, and it was so good. And you know what I loved about the SummerSlam match is no one was expecting Nikki to turn on me.
No. It was
And,
out of the
like,
blue.
It was out of the blue.
Yeah.
And I felt like we couldn't have done that more perfect.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. And I remember that segment because I told him that he had to either relinquish the title or I was going to fire you.
Yeah.
I said, so evil.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just mean.
Yeah.
Nasty.
And wasn't he wearing a neck brace? Was
At
he?
some point, I was.
Oh, yeah.
Me
No,
or him?
he was.
Oh, he was in a neck
Yeah.
brace, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've worn various neck braces.
Yeah. So it was like he was
Yeah,
really
he
mean.
was really, yeah. And
Or
that's
you
what
were
I was
really
saying.
mean,
Like,
yeah.
look, lightning struck, you
Yeah.
know, like you were able to win, even though you shouldn't have. But
Yeah.
but you made it happen. Congratulations. But you couldn't maintain it. Look,
Yeah.
you're hurt. That's what I was telling you all along. I remember this because
Oh,
it
yeah.
was so much fun. And then you were like, yeah, well, you can't fire me because I quit.
Yes.
Whack, wallop. Oh my God.
But this is the thing, like people thinking you peed yourself, like it would go down your leg,
Yeah,
not
I know,
go on
I
your
know,
dress.
But there was some weird shadow thing.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
always feel like you'd
Yeah.
embrace it if it happened.
No,
You'd
if
talk
it
about
happened, I would own it. Yeah. Yeah.
That is so funny. But I will say, Steph, working with you, one, I learned so much, but I was so nervous going into storyline with you because you're so incredible. Like and even at that time, I was like, you guys had so much going on. I was like, I can't be the one to mess this up. And but I was like, I learned so much by just watching you and like being around and hearing your advice and like seeing the way like you and Paul and Brian, like you guys would talk about things. I was like, oh shit, this is like top level stuff. Like I was learning so much by just being present around
I'm
it.
flattered to even be included
But
in
it's
that.
true. But even like no one ever told me like just really know the story and your character. So
Yeah,
like
so you
when
can play.
you can just play
Yeah.
off that and
And you can improv and you can,
Right.
work off the crowd because the crowd's gonna, they're gonna feed you things that you don't
Right.
expect,
for sure.
But that was always the improv of it all is the most fun to me because
Yeah.
that's like the feel.
I agree.
And And we had so much fun.
I mean, we really did.
I mean, because it should be
loved it.
fun.
It should
you
be
know,
fun.
when it works, when it hits.
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah, like the other night on the live event, Paige and I did a promo with Dominic, having just fun, and we just improv'd.
Right.
And it was so great, and the crowd was so into it. And then Oba comes out.
Right?
And then, which was so incredible. And then we got to they're like, okay, and then meet Oba and do his walk with him and to the ring. But it was something that you would never see on TV.
Right?
But like, it felt so fun and special, and the crowd was so into it. But Paige and I got to back and we're like, whoa, we haven't had that much fun in a long
Yeah.
time.
It was just fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how it was with you. Always. I mean, nerve-wracking, but it was always fun.
Well, there were some good barbs traded.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good shots. Because then you come in and you manipulated me
Yep.
because you then are like just a fan in the crowd, and
Yep.
you antagonize me. And I forget, we were in Brooklyn, and I forget what else happened in that show, but I got you back, right? So I
Right.
slap you. And then later in the show, I'm out ringside for some reason, and I get arrested.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because a fan in the audience.
You hit a fan.
Because she
I
hit
did.
a fan. A
I
person who
did.
bought a ticket.
That's right. That's right.
Because I
Yeah.
had my ticket.
Yep.
Yep.
And then the only way for me to get the charges dropped was if I agreed to have a match with you.
Yes.
That's
So
right.
I won.
See?
Even though I didn't really
See?
win in the end.
Yeah, that's how
I
it
mean,
really
and just
went.
think how crazy, like, I think of Chelsea Green,
Right?
like how we used her as a physical therapist,
I
and like
know.
seeing where she is now.
I know.
And I would slap the shit out of her too. I know. Everyone's always like, Steph has a hard slap. I'm like, ooh.
Oh yeah, Bree's
No one's
got
had
a
mine.
pretty stiff slap. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I was like, shit, I have to make that look good too. But I guess maybe I'm just a hard slapper too.
But that's good.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I was
Exactly.
always taught to lay it in.
yeah.
It was actually Mick Foley taught me that a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. So how long will it have been since our match at SummerSlam coming up?
2014.
12
was it?
years?
Or was it 20?
Yeah, 2014, I think.
Oh, my
14.
gosh.
Right?
14.
That's so crazy.
And it had been 11 years prior to that since I had been in the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, everyone was so excited to see you in the ring.
But
was
and
like-
that you gave me that.
Yeah.
So thank you
Oh
because
my gosh.
it was so
course.
cool. There was a chant in the crowd that started that said, "You still got it."
Yeah.
And I tried not to react to that one because
Yeah.
you can't. But then I went. I was backstage, and all of a sudden I hear these little voices. You still got it.
Oh.
It was my kids. Like they felt that and heard that, and
Yeah.
I got to have that moment with them because of you.
Oh.
You know.
Well, I'm happy I was able to give that to you.
Yeah, thank you, Bree.
Yeah.
I will forever be grateful.
And
for
I
that.
I remember in the front row, and I was
They were
just-
so little.
They were so little.
Yeah.
Like I can't even believe it. Like, I mean, I felt like even around that time, who was really into Frozen?
They all were.
Or were they?
Yeah, Frozen was the movie.
Which one would have sang it all the time?
Well, the little one is the singer.
Okay.
Yeah, she's.
I remember
she's the
that at
singer.
makeup. Like I remember Jackie doing our makeups, and she'd be there in her Frozen dress singing.
Oh yeah,
the Let It
Yeah.
Go. And I'm like, and now
She's
they're like
so stinking cute.
high school and college. I'm like, no, like
Yeah.
time can't be going this fast.
My youngest is going to be a junior in high school. My youngest.
I don't get that.
It's too fast. I mean, like they say the days are long and the years are fast, but it's so true. And here's another sad statistic, not
no.
to make you.
Damn.
But no, it's okay because you're not there right now.
Yeah.
But they say that 80% of the time that you spend with your kids, you spend by the time they're 18.
See that would crush me.
It's crushing.
Yeah.